What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Madness University. I am Nick. I'm here with LZ as always. Today's episode is going to be on resubmitting, whether that's to PSA or Beckett. LZ and I have got some great ideas for you guys, and I think we can help you a lot here in this episode. But before we dive in, we got a big ask. So we do these episodes every Tuesday, Madness University. We put out the main episode every Friday. It's a ton of work. And we would love it if you guys, especially on our YouTube channel, could, like this, subscribe to our channel, spread the word. It would be really helpful to keep us growing because we're growing fast. We're having a blast doing this. And yeah, we appreciate your help. So, anyway, let's dive in. LZ, what do you got for advice on resubmitting cards?
There is a lot of advice on resubmitting cards. We're only going to cover a couple today. When I think about resubmitting cards and I think about opportunities, especially if I'm going around to a card show or maybe I'm at a local hobby shop, one of the first things I look for is cards that are in slabs with subgrades.
Mm.
Okay. And when you're going around looking for these, like let's just use Beckett as the example because Beckett has been doing subgrades for a while. I always look to see cards that maybe have a low overall grade, but their centering is a 10 or it's a 9.5. It is kind of way up there. That to me screams opportunity. Screams opportunity to buy that slab, crack it open, and start to inspect the card a bit more. There is the option of, well, let's not even go cleaning yet. Like even PSA has come out and stated that they are okay with you taking a microfiber to your card and just kind of cleaning it up, getting debris off of your card. So that would be number one. Maybe you crack that thing and there's just like a little bit of dirt and lint on it that because of that, the grade is you're getting a lesser grade. So take that microfiber, gently rub the card, try to clean it up a little bit. Secondly, I am going to go the cleaning route. There are some opportunities in that space as well. Now, if the corners are all jacked up, there's nothing you can do around cleaning. But uh, if there's kind of surface areas, you could use a lot. Some people use a little bit of that wax that's out there, and you can kind of shine up the card a little bit, just like you can when you're selling a car or a painting. Right? You're trying to clean it up. There are some other things you can do. If there is a crease in the card, but the crease doesn't go all the way through the card, there are some things you can do to kind of help out that crease and kind of rejuvenate it. And even in some cases, remove the crease. And then the other thing, which is an interesting one, I tested it on an old Gaudi and it did work. I didn't resubmit it. It was more just to kind of test the cleaning process. Um, if there is like water damage on the card, I mean, that card could could get killed, right? It could be a one because of the water damage. There are some things you can do just to revive that card and get that back up. So if the centering looks great
Mm.
and then the corners are in good shape, there are things that you can do to revive that. So when I'm thinking about resubmitting more opportunities, I'm not thinking about necessarily my own cards, but it's more of I'm going around a show, going to some hobby stores. That is some of the things that I'm looking for. What do
Yeah,
you do? What are you thinking about, Nick?
I agree with that. I mean, it's advice for the listeners here. This is all arbitrage, and the word arbitrage is pretty cool. So, you've got these opportunities where you can buy something, make a change, and sell something for more money, and that's arbitrage. The windows are typically a short period of time. You have fun with it, you make your money, and then you run. And that's those are some ways you can do that. So, I've got a couple pieces of advice around this. So, PSA used to have these old, they call them blue flip labels. If you go on eBay, you can't like type in flip label, you won't find it, but essentially it's just this old looking blue label. There's no QR code on it. There's like, their full name on the back. It's a PSA slab. It's all legit. If you can look for especially vintage autograph stuff in those blue flips, they typically never graded the card. So one example I will give you is I bought a Bill Russell 1961 card in a blue flip label. The card was not graded, but it looked fantastic. The auto was authenticated, but not graded. So I took that card. It was probably worth a couple grand and took the gamble, right? I'm keeping the card, so I guess it's not really a gamble, but I took the gamble and I submitted it, and the card came back with a grade of 3, and the auto came back with a grade of 10, which is spectacular for
Mm.
1961. It is probably a $5,000 or $6,000 card. So out of thin air, I printed $3,000 to $4,000 of value by literally just identifying a blue flip label that was an opportunity. And that's just one card, man. They're out there. And we had Rick Probstein on. Great episode. I think it's our most watched episode. He said, go do this. And he runs the largest consignment company on eBay. He says, I don't have the time for this, but if you want to make some money or if you want to like upgrade your cards, go do this. So look for blue flip labels and try to cross them to PSA into that new slab where everything's graded. That's one. The other big one is almost a what not to do. And this was a harsh lesson when I got into the hobby, right? You're going to see all this slabbed stuff on eBay, and it's so overwhelming, even at card shows. Like I was at a card show yesterday, and some of the slabs from PSA say trading card on them. And you're like, what? And, so I was at the card show and I saw, like a 1957 Russell. It looked like it was a 10 with his autograph, and it was in a trading card PSA slab, and the autograph was authentic. LZ, what do you think was going on with that card?
Oh boy. Well, I'm sure that Russell, I'm sure it wasn't like $50,000. So my guess is it was a reprint, Nick.
Exactly.
Yes.
Why would they put a $50,000 card into a trading card slab? So this is something to watch out for the audience. Do not do what I just said to do with blue flip labels on anything that says trading card ever, 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 because vintage trading card slabs 9 times out of 10 are a reprint. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not illegal. It's not counterfeit. It's a licensed card. It's just a reprint. It's a modern replication of the valuable vintage card. So you can own it. It might actually be a good, cheap way to own a Russell autograph on a card that looks that way, and that's cool. But don't go looking for opportunity there, because you may get burned. So yeah, that's my bid on resubmitting.
If it's too good to be true, you need to trust your gut.
Yeah.
I remember, I think it was last year, I was at a card show and I was like, at that point, I was big into getting Larry Bird and Magic Johnson autographs. And I know what those autographs go for. And I went to a show and I found a couple of these cards, and the card was like $100. Like, that's it. And it said trading card on it. And it was I think it was their 1981 cards. And I got really excited. I'm, oh my goodness, this is an opportunity to get these cards at a cheap cost for these autographs. And I got really excited. And then I had to smack myself. And I'm like, there's no way that these are their 1981 cards, because they actually looked really nice too. So if it's too good to be true, people, it is too good to be true. You got to trust the hairs on the back of your neck. You got to trust your gut.
It's a good way to end it, LZ. I agree.
Yeah.
And yeah, once again, everybody, please subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment, if you like this video, and yeah, tell your friends about us. That's another episode.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.